A calm night in Paris. Close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath in and out. Let your body relax. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hands open. Tonight, we are going to Paris. You do not need to study. You do not need to try hard. Just listen. Let the English flow into your mind, gently, naturally. There is nothing you need to do tonight. Just rest and listen. The story will begin now. It is 9 o'clock in the evening in Paris. The sky is a deep dark blue. The first stars are beginning to appear. The city is quieter now. The busy afternoon has passed. The cafes along the streets are still warm and golden. People sit at small tables outside, talking softly, drinking wine and coffee. The smell of bread and warm butter drifts through the cool air. A young woman named Sophie is walking slowly along the Seine River. She is wearing a long gray coat and a dark red scarf. Her hands are inside her pockets. Her steps are slow and quiet. She is not in a hurry. She has nowhere she needs to be tonight. Sophie loves Paris in the evening. It is a different city at this hour. During the day, Paris is fast and loud. People rush and push and talk. But at night, Paris becomes soft. It becomes calm. It becomes beautiful. She walks along the river. The water is dark and still. The lights from the old stone bridges reflect on the surface of the water. It looks like stars floating on the river. It is very beautiful. A small boat moves slowly under one of the bridges. Its light is soft and yellow. Sophie stops walking for a moment. She watches the boat disappear into the shadows. She takes a long, slow breath. The air smells like the river and autumn leaves. She thinks, I am here. This is enough. This moment is enough. And she continues walking slowly along the river. After a while, Sophie feels a little cold. She looks up and sees a small café across the street. The windows of the café are warm and bright. She can see people inside sitting quietly. She crosses the street and pushes open the door of the café. A small bell rings above the door. The café is small and cozy. There are only 8 or 9 tables. The walls are dark wood. Old paintings hang between the windows. Soft music is playing. It is slow and quiet, like a lullaby. Sophie chooses a table by the window. She sits down and removes her scarf. A waiter comes to her table. He is an older man with gray hair and kind eyes. Good evening, he says. What can I bring you tonight? A coffee, please, Sophie says. Small and warm. The waiter smiles. Of course, he says, and walks away quietly. Sophie looks out of the window at the street. A couple walks past holding hands. A dog follows them slowly. An old man on a bicycle rides past, a baguette under his arm. Sophie smiles to herself. She loves watching the city from a window. The waiter returns with a small white cup. Steam rises from the coffee. He places it carefully on the table in front of her. Thank you, Sophie says softly. Of course, the waiter says. He pauses for a moment. It is a beautiful night tonight, he says. Yes, Sophie agrees. It really is. She holds the warm cup with both hands. She closes her eyes for a moment. The coffee is rich and smooth. It warms her slowly from the inside. She feels the tiredness of the day begin to melt away. The music continues to play, soft and slow. Time feels different in this small cafe. It feels slower. It feels kinder. At the table next to Sophie, an old man is sitting alone. He has white hair and large, rough hands. He is drawing something in a small sketchbook. Sophie watches him quietly. His hand moves slowly and carefully across the page. After a while, he looks up and notices her watching. He does not seem bothered. He smiles gently. I am drawing the window, he says in a low, calm voice. The way the light falls on the glass. It is different every evening. Sophie nods slowly. Do you come here often? She asks. Every evening for 30 years, he says simply. Sophie is surprised. 30 years? Always this cafe? Always this cafe, he says. Always this table. Always this light. He closes his sketchbook gently. He looks out of the window. People think that to live fully, you must always go somewhere new, he says. But I have found everything I need right here, in this light, in this window. Sophie thinks about his words. She does not speak for a moment. Then she says, I think I understand. I have been walking all evening, looking for something, she adds softly. The old man nods. And did you find it? Sophie thinks. She looks at her coffee. She looks at the street outside. Maybe, she says. Maybe I found it a long time ago. I just forgot to look. The old man smiles. He opens his sketchbook again and begins to draw. Sophie finishes her coffee slowly. She feels peaceful. She feels still. Sophie leaves the cafe and continues walking. The streets are quieter now. Fewer people, softer sounds. She walks for 20 minutes along wide, tree-lined avenues. The leaves on the trees are golden and brown. They fall slowly in the night breeze. And then she sees it. The Eiffel Tower. It rises high above the city, lit in warm gold against the dark sky. Sophie has seen it hundreds of times. But tonight, it takes her breath away. She walks to the Champ de Mars, the large park below the tower. She finds a quiet spot on the grass and sits down slowly. She leans back on her hands and looks up at the tower above her. The lights of the tower are warm and steady. A few other people are sitting nearby. Couples, families, tourists. But no one is talking loudly. Everyone is quiet. Everyone is just looking up. Sophie lies back on the grass and looks up at the sky beyond the tower. She can see a few stars above the glow of the city. She breathes in deeply. The air is cool and clean. She thinks about the old painter in the café. She thinks about his words. Everything I need is right here. She thinks, maybe I have been searching too hard. Maybe I have been moving too fast. Maybe the life I am looking for is already here. In this moment, in this breath, the tower above her begins to sparkle. Every hour, for 5 minutes, the Eiffel Tower shimmers with thousands of tiny lights. Sophie watches. She does not move. She barely breathes. The lights dance and flash across the iron structure, like stars caught in metal. And then, quietly, the sparkling stops. The tower returns to its steady golden glow. Sophie smiles, a wide, soft, happy smile. She whispers to herself, I am here. I am alive. That is enough. After a long time, Sophie stands up from the grass. She brushes the leaves from her coat. She wraps her scarf around her neck. The city is very quiet now. It is almost midnight. She begins to walk home. Her steps are slow and easy. She walks past a baker who is already starting the morning bread. The smell of fresh dough drifts into the street. Warm, soft, wonderful. She walks past a fountain in a small square. The water catches the moonlight. She walks past a cat sitting on a doorstep, watching her with golden eyes. Good evening, she says to the cat. The cat blinks slowly, as if it understands. Sophie smiles and walks on. She reaches her apartment building. She takes out her key. Before she opens the door, she turns and looks up at the sky one more time. The moon is high and white. The stars are scattered across the dark. She takes one final deep breath of the night air. Then she opens the door and steps inside. Sophie hangs her coat on the hook by the door. She sits on the edge of her bed. She takes off her shoes slowly. She lies down. She pulls the blanket over herself. The room is dark. The room is warm. The room is quiet. Outside, Paris continues its gentle nighttime breath. A distant bell rings once, then silence. Sophie closes her eyes. And now, you can close yours too. You have listened well tonight. Your mind has been working quietly, gently, in the background. You have heard many words, many sentences, many images, and all of that is now resting inside you. You do not need to remember anything. You do not need to try. Just let go. Slowly. Let your breathing slow down. Let your body feel heavy and warm. Let the English words drift through you like a gentle river. You are safe. You are calm. You are at rest. Sleep well. Bonne nuit.